Evening, everyone. Welcome to Mindfulness with ROOP, the Bellwether series. I'm your host, Rupinder Malia. And today in my show, I'm again joined by a woman of substance. Well, before I talk about her, let me talk about the podcast in a short way. Like, this show is a passion of mine, and here I always invite people from different fields, different states of India, uh, who were passionate enough to follow their dreams and who are icons in their own way and who have proved that if we have the determination, we can do anything. So today I'm joined by Ms. Smriti Bhatia. She is the founder of Smriti's ChocoHouse and SIABAZ. She's a TEDx speaker, and if I let me read her profile, it's very interesting. She's a chocolate artisan, entrepreneur, person with complete passion for chocolates and chocolate making. She's an avid international writer. She's from an IT background, IT professional from the last 13 years, and also the founder of International Flavours Fiesta. And she is the chairperson of International Council of Flavors of MentorX, mentor of change Niti Aayog, certified scholar, book of world records as an author. Wonderful. Smriti, welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much, in fact, for having me on this wonderful, wonderful show where we are connecting such wonderful and multi-talented people, bringing out so many things that people may or may not be aware of. But just talking about whatever we have in our minds, whatever we are doing in our journeys every day, having such a platform of conversation is a brilliant concept. And thank you so much for having me here. Really, thank you so much.
Let me start with your business. I mean, such an aromatic and caramelly business do you have? Who would not like to have this kind of business of chocolate making? So, like, when did you realize that you are passionate about chocolates and you wanted to become a chocolate artisan? When did you realize this thing?
So I would take a step back to my corporate journey where, like any other person, I was extremely fond of chocolates right from my childhood. There are many, I think, only a handful would be who would not be fond of chocolates. So it was a case for me also the same, but I was fond of cooking. So during my corporate journey, I wanted to experiment with something that I'm very fond of, and I started. Doing a research in chocolates and my hands-on experimenting recipes and all. But then I had only one thing in my mind, that I have to do things differently. I don't want to just create chocolates like it is already there in the market big time. I started this 12 years back, so and at that time it was a booming industry, the chocolate making. But I wanted to still do things differently in a creative way. So I experimented with some themes, some designs, and then some fusion flavors. So a lot of hands-on went in, but that was just out of hobby, out of passion. I had no interest and intention of quitting my job. But then down the line, I think I was just doing it part time, gifting to my family, friends. And then there was this one first bulk order that came in through a corporate on Diwali, which actually led me, as a breakthrough to think that maybe this is something that I can pursue more seriously rather than just doing it part time. And of course, with when you're an IT professional, and I was already climbing up the ladder, it's not that easy to find out time for something that you are so passionate about. So I think 5 6 years later, I started taking it more seriously as part of the IT journey, and then eventually, after 13 years of my career, I quit my job, took this full time, and it is just so wonderful. We have like 500 flavors now, and that is only possible because of the passionate energy that you have inside you, that you want to do something different, invent something different. And we've kept our clients in mind. I would say, what your customers want. They want something new recipe to be added in the catalog. So we're open to all those feedback, that if we are somebody who is customizing flavors or customizing designs for clients, and if you're not open to listening to them, then that really is not customization. So whatever they were asking for, we started launching, and we have so many ranges that have been launched only because of our clients. So that is how this journey started, and that is how we've been pursuing just listening to what is happening around.
Mm-hmm. And like this shift from the corporate towards entrepreneurship, I want you to discuss something about that also. Was it like a cakewalk for you, or was it like there were certain challenges? How was it? I mean, all about.
Not easy, for sure, because my IT career was also my passion. So
Mm-hmm.
when I was studying MCA, I took it up only and only because of computers being the field at that time, and I was extremely fond of coding, and I had some knack inside me that I really wanted to be that techie.
Mm-hmm.
So for me to decide to quit my corporate job was not easy because of this reason. And second, also because you have a salary that is coming in every month. There's a certain revenue. There is no tension of you have to decide your targets, your project timelines, what you have to do, what are your requirements, who are your customers. That only happened when I reached a designation in the company. That is when I started thinking about things that I'm already thinking now as an entrepreneur. But till then, all this was not there. It was more of focusing on your jobs on a day to day basis. So the shift was not easy, but once decided, yes, it took me a couple of months to really think. I was always at a crossroad that, if my decision was right, whether did I take a big risk of leaving my job. So a couple of months it did take me. The only thing I would say that really triggered me to leave was my health was getting impacted because reaching a designation, there were a lot of odd hours, weekends, and a lot of things, where you're not getting time for yourself. That is what really triggered me that I need to stop and pursue something that I already have set up with me.
Mm-hmm.
So that is how the switch happened. So it was not as if I was disappointed with my job. I was not happy with my bosses. I always had the best managers, the best teams. It was always fun and work in my
Mm-hmm.
company. And so much to say that it was my first job and I was with them for 13 years. So this
Oh, wow.
itself says that I was that happy in the company. So,
Mm-hmm.
so yes, that is exactly how the switch happened. And then down the line, yeah, there's no looking back. I only probably miss the people from there, I would say, not the career or the projects or something.
How
Not,
was
not.
the Yeah, how was the reaction of the family? Like, were they supportive into it, or did they tell you that please, think about this decision twice or something?
So I would say that I'm blessed to have a very supportive family. They only made sure that I made the right decision. It was never that you should not be doing it. It was, just a discussion enough to ensure that whatever I have in my mind is in the right direction. I have thought through what I want. And once, they understood that, yes, they did ask me, you should probably rethink, or is it the right thing that you want to continue pursue all this. But
Yes.
then that was out of ensuring a decision to be correct. And after that, once the clarity was achieved at both sides, of course my family was so supportive, and even till date, they're always there, helping, supporting wherever I need. It's like your family is your backbone. It's it's like it's by default it is there with you, so it is like that. So thankfully I did not have that challenge.
It really makes the journey little easy,
Yes,
right,
it
for the
does.
person. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, what's your business model like? I mean, is it like you are dealing with, if I could say, B2B, or like directly with the customers, B2C? And you were talking about customized designing and everything. Like, it takes a lot of patience and a lot of hard work. How do you
Yes.
decide on all the things?
So, as a business model, it is B2B and B2C both.
Okay.
So we are available on Zomato, Swiggy, on other startup portals. We have a lot of food portals, aggregators now. So we're available out there, and we directly work with clients one to one also, not just wholesale bulk. So we have not restricted ourselves. If it is bulk, it is wholesale, it is retail, or it is one to one, a family based order, or just a single pack. We've not restricted. Of course, there is a minimum order that is required, but there is no restriction in terms of, we don't want all types of customers to be taken care of, because
Mhm.
that is also one of the objective. If we want to bring smiles to people with, these beautiful hampers, designs that we create. And if you restrict yourself, of course, it's a very low value or a very, things that you don't want to really entertain. That's a separate story. But saying no to a client is not our preference unless that is really the option.
Mm-hmm.
So we
I
cater
have
everything.
been watching your designs on LinkedIn also, the chocolate designs, and they are really different. Like, how did you decide on this thing? Means one thing can be like you were interested in chocolate business and then you started it, but now the designing, they're really very beautiful. How do you decide on these things?
So I actually call it the universe calling. I directly say that it is God's grace that you receive all those innovations into your mind of how it is to be implemented. Of course, you have to do a research. You have to ensure that your mission is always aligned, because the first objective thought process was only that I wanted to be different with designs. Flavors, yes, of course, because people want variety, and with
Yes.
so many chocolates being available, people actually want variety. So flavors has to be there, but then how does it stand out? It's food, it's gifting, it's hampers. The presentation has to be different. So which is where we started all this designing process. It came with time. When I started, we had a very simple, hamper presentation. But with couple of years, I realized that the chocolates also can be presented in a lot of designs, and which is where all this happened. Plus, there is a range with us which is fusion, which is only and only from the surroundings. So when I say from the surroundings, is that whatever you are reading or whatever you're watching, ideas come from there. For example, we I'll just give you an example. Like we have a chocolate called chocolate barbecue. We
Okay.
name it as a skewer. That came in from a picture in the newspaper with paneer tikka on a skewer barbecue. So when I saw
Okay.
that, I just wanted,
Hmm.
some dessert kind of a thing to be implemented. So that is
Hmm.
how that was invented. Similarly, listening to your customers, and that is where we get in all this variety. And we've tried a lot of flavors. So we did a lot of exhibitions where out of the box flavors were experimented, and we took real time feedback from people. So we have like a chocolate with khatta pani, for example. So
Okay.
that is something that even you would think, yeah, ye kaisa lagega,
Yes.
khatta pani chocolate. But then
Yes.
it went out so well with my people in the exhibition that I actually launched it as a product. So,
Hmm.
so that is how we've been creating different innovations. Of course, yes, it is research that continuously has to be done with what is latest in the market, how you can blend it with your objective of the brand, and that is where. And honestly, it's been a case where people have copied a lot of stuff that we've done, and
Hmm.
it still happens. So
Hmm.
initially, I used to get very, very worried about us creating things and people copying it directly from social media and calling it their own. But
Hmm.
then one of my mentors explained to me very clearly that you should be proud of this. If this is happening, it really means that you've achieved something.
Hmm.
And that was the day where I decided I will not get worried about all these things. So even if today I see somebody who's posting my pictures, I'll probably just go and tell that person that what you're doing is not right. I'm aware that you are copying my stuff, but okay, all right, I'm not worried about it. So this is where you actually feel that yes, you're doing
Yes.
something different. People want to copy your work.
Copy you. They want to follow you. You are a trendsetter then. So I was about to ask you this thing that obviously this is a very competitive industry. You already have certain big names who have established themselves as like the pioneer.
Yes.
They are the pioneers also. Plus, they are like their name is there in the market. So if somebody thinks
Yes.
of chocolate, they quickly certain brands come to their mind.
Yes.
Still, like working in that field and coming up with this kind of creativity and surviving, and then this pressure which you are, though you are very humble and you are saying this thing, you don't take pressure when people copy you, but of course as an entrepreneur you sometimes think that your customers can get confused with their creation and yours. How do you cope with that pressure?
So I would say it's a fact, yes, and especially with the last couple of years of the pandemic, where we've seen so many people coming up with baking, with chocolates, and
Yes.
all. We have chefs, everywhere
Mhm.
now.
Yes,
So
yes.
especially with that, it's been very difficult, and we faced it. I mean, we're still facing it, I would say.
Mhm.
It's becoming difficult to crack deals. So it's not as if it's like a cakewalk or something, or
Mhm.
there are no issues that we face. Cracking deals becomes difficult because not everybody understands there is a quality and price attached to
Mhm.
something that you want to receive.
Mhm.
When people don't understand that, then they reach out to any chocolatier and they would just buy whatever they get. But
Mhm.
there is a certain set which understands, and which is where we at least focus on that our quality, our pricing, our differentiation will be understood by these people. And there are touch wood a lot of clients who keep coming back to us because they
Mhm.
know that there's a lot of personalization that she can do. And also, if they want something very specific in their chocolate, she will make that change. So,
Mhm.
many times very funny things happen. I receive calls and people are like, "Ma'am, ये तो 5 रुपए का मिल रहा है. Why are you giving it for 20?" So, pehle I used to get very anxious about all these things, that how do I handle? Now I just laugh it away and I tell them, तो आप sir वहीं जाके ले लो ना जहाँ से आपको 5 रुपए का मिल रहा है. Why do you want to come to me and have the customization, have the
Mhm.
flavor, have the designing, and you still want to pay 5 rupees for it? वो तो नहीं हो सकता. So आप वहीं से ले लो. That is how I started taking it in a lighter way.
Mhm.
Initially, I used to get very bugged out that how do I get deals cracked and how do I
Mhm.
manage things. But then that is how you learn also.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And like this is one like aspect of your personality and your professional life. Then you are involved in many other things also. Like you're a founder of SIABAZ, if I can say SIABAZ. I
Yeah,
don't know if I'm
buzz.
pronouncing it correctly or not. Then
Yeah.
you are a part of MentorX team. You are with Niti Aayog also. Like how do you manage all this?
Um, I don't know. I have probably always been like this, thinking that I want to do more and more. I don't get to do a lot of things still. I feel that we can do much more. So even in my corporate world, I was like that. I started with development. I moved on to testing, designing, program management. In all those 13 years, I've actually experimented everything. And so which is just carried forward into my entrepreneurial journey as well. Writing, so writing books, writing poems, writing articles, all this, or even my content, that whatever social media content that we post, that is something that most of the times I would be creating the written part.
Yeah.
So so some things I'm very close to and I prefer keeping it to myself. And then at the same time, Niti Aayog happened very recently, because, and that was also, and only because, so we have an academy, SIABAZ is our academy where we conduct chocolate making workshops.
Okay.
And that also we do interactively because, of course, chocolate making workshops are many. So to stand out, we do a lot of interactive driven workshops. And so there are some talks also that we conduct with schools and colleges. That is where this motive came in to also be a part of Niti Aayog, and then go out to more colleges, universities, and talk about entrepreneurship in general, and pick some specific topics. So with MentorX, this is what is happening. We are going and picking some specific topics and talking about the entrepreneur journey in a practical way, more of an experiential journey rather than just the Google based or bookish knowledge that we get. So and all of this again, I did not have in my mind, like just like I did not have in mind to start my own business with chocolates. Even all these experiments that I've been doing, I have never had the thought of even getting into all this. So it just happened, and I just went with the flow. Of course, I had the calling from within that I want to experiment with all these natural flows that are coming my way, and
Yes.
it's a learning. I also learn and enjoy because if you are going to talk to someone, you will also sit back and make sure that you are well prepared for it. So I am
Mhm.
learning, constantly upgrading myself, spending time with myself to learn all this so that I can experiment and have some more diverse things to be done. So that is
Mhm.
how all this is happening.
Okay. So, like, I can see your communication skills are also very wonderful. You're able to put up your thing. Obviously, this is the hard work of many years, the job scenario, the confidence you gained over there, and then joining all these workshops and having setting up your own business and succeeding in that. So, do you think that communication skills are important in case we want to be successful in any field of life?
Absolutely. I would not say that it's a hindrance. If you
Hmm.
don't have the right communication skills, it is not as if you can't have your own work, you can't be a part of any corporate sector or an entrepreneur journey. It is in no way to mean that. But yes, if you hone upon those skills, they definitely help you in making the right point ahead. Because when you are interacting with people, even if you're networking and you're interacting with people, if you have the right set of communication, there will never be a miscommunication that is happening. Your message will always go right. Because if you're talking and your message is only not going correctly, then it is not really going to help you in any field whatsoever. So it is not a hindrance, but it definitely benefits. And yes, as you rightly said, my corporate sector helped me in all these things first, and then Amity, where I mastered from communication skills, was very very focused over there. And then, of course, right now with attending so many events, we did a TEDx talk recently, and that was the most beautiful experience that one can have. It was a different platform altogether. So, and then when you're going out to conduct talks and sessions, guest lectures with students, all these things matter. And the more you do it, the more you get better. That is
Definitely.
exactly what I would prefer saying for everyone. And I would just say here that, if even if for once you think that you may not be very perfect in communication, it does not matter. Just go out and start interacting, start talking. Even if you're an introvert, at least start, break that ice, and you will automatically see the way you grow ahead. You will automatically see that transformation in yourself.
Yes, it really makes sense. I particularly asked this question because most of my students would also be listening to you. And again, like you have also said the same thing that you have to speak, first of all, right?
Yes.
You have to practice and you make mistakes, you learn from those mistakes, and then again, like you build up your own self. So, thank you so much for this wonderful advice. And like if somebody who's like looking at you, sometimes people feel that businesses like those sustainable businesses are those related to IT or like ad tech nowadays or something, or even if we talk about textiles and all. But chocolate making, like it was your passion, you followed it. Many people have certain passions which are not like in the mainstream. The society doesn't like approve of them easily, but people want to do something differently. What message would you give to those people who really have those passions and they think differently from the society?
I would just say one thing. I would not give a probably very detailed this thing, but just one, which is um, follow your heart. If you really feel that it is your passion and you want to do it, of course you need your family support for it.
Hmm.
But after that step is taken care of, trust me, if you put in your total hard work, your dedication, whatever sincerity it requires, these skills are very basic, and these skills are something that you cannot do without. We might say that, being dedicated and hard work is a very small thing. Yes, it is a very small thing, but unless you have that fire in you and every day, because when you are wanting to do your own work, you need that fire and motivation in you every day to be able to think something, invent something, take it out to the clients, put it in that way to everyone, showcase in a certain way. That zeal has to always be there consistently. If you can manage to do that, even if it takes few days, few weeks, few months, or even couple of years, be rest assured that that passion combined with just the focus, your concentration, concentrated focus, will definitely give you result, is what I can say. You will lose heart, yes, you will lose heart many times, that this is not that easy, this is challenging, I don't feel like doing it, but you have to cross over it. And that will only come if you have that fire within. Throughout that journey you will definitely succeed. You should give it a try, give it a chance, and it will happen for sure.
Right. So recently we have entered the new year 2023. We have entered into. So if I ask you that the three learnings you had in 2022, what would you say? What did you learn as far as business is concerned? Your own feminine empowerment is concerned. What did you learn?
One I would say is, on a softer skill, being more calm and humble. So you always tend to be humble and calm, but then this year probably has given me that as a softer skill. If we talk about, has given me a little more of this journey. Some experiences have been such in this year where I've automatically learned this. So one is that. Second, I would say in terms of knowledge, or in terms of expanding my horizon and learning, with certain guest lectures, certain talk shows, and my own field of recipes. I have probably spent some more time in learning the knowledge upgrade part. That has definitely been a learning for 2022. And third is totally out of the conversation that we're doing, no relation at all. But yes, spiritually, I
Okay.
have seen some inclination happening more towards that direction.
Mm-hmm.
And that, in a way, is definitely helping me, not just professionally, personally, in my hobbies or whatever you want to name it, but that is directly helping me in some form or the other. So, these three top learnings, I would say, and that's purely because of certain experiences that have been in this year, which have given me all these learnings. Otherwise, it was not easy to probably go through all of them.
Mm-hmm. No, that's really important, the spiritual journey also, because you are open to grasping different knowledge and the learnings, life lessons. So
Yes.
that is why it's coming up again and again in front of you.
Yeah.
Okay, so now what's the plan for 2023? Like expanding the business more, bringing it to more cities, or like what is your vision for 2023?
I would say definitely yes, bringing it to more and more people, inventing more things that are like the trendsetters, and but I'll take launching it in our style. I would put it like this. And second, I do have certain things that I want to diversify in, outside of chocolates as well. So that is also going to be my focus. And then, yes, one is the third part, which as a brand we believe in, having your openness towards what your clients want you to launch. So that is always going to be there. So that is the third part. So these three things that I would want to focus on 2023, and you would definitely see us doing more and more workshops as part of the academy, and reaching out to more. Birthday activities, because that is also our forte, doing chocolate making workshops in forms of chocolate games. So we will have more focus on workshops and making the brand more available. So we are pan India, we supply pan India, but we will have more focus on getting it out to more and more places.
Right.
Definitely.
And like you're doing a wonderful work and you are a hustler indeed. You are into, you're open to learning, you're open to receiving new learnings, I would say. So that's wonderful. I just wish you good luck for your future endeavors. And I
Thank you.
just want to request you to share with us that if somebody wants to reach up to you, like what are the your social media handles and all?
So on Instagram, we are on ChocoHouse, Zero Resistance. And on Facebook also we are at ChocoHouse Zero Resistance, exactly the same name. LinkedIn will be by my name, Smriti Bhatia. And my digits you can take on my phone number as well, 9899924610. That is where we have our catalogs also published, and it'll be easier to communicate over this number for the only reason of customization, because social media handles will only give you information of what you can look at, but for any personalization it will be only directly reaching out to me, and you will be reaching out to me the first, not my team. So that's the best part. You will be able to understand all the requirements very directly, and do not think that it's food, why so many requirements and why so many this thing. The more clarity you have in what you want in your hamper, the more beautiful it will be. After all, it is food, energy, and nothing else.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Smriti, for joining me today. And it was a great learning for all of us that if we are passionate about something, then the ways they will come in front of us, but then we should also be having the confidence to walk on that path and still be learning and improving ourselves.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me here. And I love the name of the show. I missed saying that. I totally love the name, and the way you've been bringing forth so many guest speakers and getting out so much knowledge and so many messages out to the audience is absolutely brilliant. And I really wish that you keep flourishing lots and lots, and all your students have a lot of abundance of things that they can grasp from you. So keep growing, keep shining.
Thank you so much.
Thank
So,
you for
this was Smriti, all the way from Noida, founder of Smriti's ChocoHouse and SIABAZ. Uh, Next time, in the next episode, again, I will try my best to bring another woman of substance or another man of substance who has done something great in their field, who are the trailblazers, whom we can follow, who are an inspiration to us, and we can also brush up our skills and shed off all those fears that we cannot do. If they can, so can we. Thank you so much,
everybody.
everyone, for joining. Thank you, Smriti.
Thank you so much.